this is what I'll be reviewing today, Eggies. And I bought them at Walmart and it wasn't too expensive. I think it was like $10. So let me get the packaging open. So this is what comes. This is an egg yolk separator and I'm going to be testing that in my regular cooking to see if that works. And let's see what else comes in here. It's really jammed in there, kind of tight. Okay, it has instructions that I have to read, which I'm going to pause the camera in a little while to read to make sure we're doing it all correctly. But this is what these things look like. I don't even know how to get that out of, oh, duh. So this is one with the lid and everything. So I'm going to be following the instructions to see how to work it. But these are all the pieces that came. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I guess I'm going to be making, I'm not going to use all this to make the eggs, okay? But they gave us quite a bit. I'm going to do like a couple to make some hard-boiled eggs to see if it works. And this I'm going to use at a future date, the egg separator. So this is how the Eggies come in the packaging, right? It was kind of confusing. I didn't know what I was looking at. Thank goodness for the instructions. So I took it apart, and this is the bottom part. So I have two bottom parts here. These are the two top parts. This is the collar, and these are two lids. And I washed them completely and dried it, and I'm supposed to grease the bottom and the top parts. And you're supposed to spray a little bit of that PAM or grease it every time you're going to use it, okay? So I wish at this point they would say put the egg in here, but they didn't say put it in here at this point. They say put the lid on first, and I don't think it screws. I tried it a little while ago. I think it just kind of snaps on. So I put the lid, well, not the lid, the top half, because this is the lid. And then we take the collar and we just kind of screw it all together. And at this point is where they want you to add the egg. So right here, I cracked one egg in this bowl. And I don't know how this egg's going to get in here. This is the first time I'm trying this with you guys, okay? Okay, so it went in. I think the reason they don't want you to put it in before you put on all the stuff, they don't want you to be jiggling it. And so then we put the lid on, and the lid screws, okay? So we put the lid on, and make sure the color's not coming undone. And then I guess we're going to get that to the pot to get it boiled. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this one and put another egg in there. I'm only going to do 2. I'm not going to do 6 because I don't need a whole lot. So I'm just going to get that done, and then we're going to move to the next portion of this test. So I wanted to show you the size of the eggs that I'm using. I don't think these are extra large. I think they're just about large eggs. And that's important because the chart tells you how long you're supposed to boil it for. So if it's a large egg and I want it hard boiled, which I do, it's 15 to 17 minutes because I have the egg, the white, and the yolk. It has a different time too for if you're just going to do the whites, okay? So you kind of want to keep that paper safe. Make sure everything's intact. And I'm putting it in some warm water. Make sure it's floating. And I'm going to take it to the stove and bring it to a boil. And then we're going to monitor it for 15 to 17 minutes. Then we'll see the end results. Okay, so nowhere in the instructions did it say that I had to put all 6 of these eggs in this little pan, right? Little saucepan. So I only put 2 because I don't want to waste all these eggs. And I can't get it to stand up straight. On the box, all the eggs are standing up straight. I can't get it to stand up straight. It's flipping over, and pretty much the whites are just kind of leaking out. So I think this test might kind of be a wash until I can do all 6. But I'm going to keep it there and see what happens, okay? So yesterday I started doing a review of these little things right here, the Eggies. And it just kind of failed on me. So I kind of shut everything off, and I decided I'm going to start fresh today. What happened yesterday was I only did 2 Eggies because I didn't want to have all those boiled eggs around. So when you put these Eggies, imagine if the egg was in there, right? The raw egg. When you put them in the pot of water, they'll do that. They'll flip over. And that's what happened. And I just kind of left it alone. My son didn't think it should be like that. But I left it alone, and it started boiling like within 3 minutes. And pretty soon, all the white was kind of leaking out of here. And this is tight. I put it as tight as I could. All the white was leaking out into the water, and then pretty soon the pot boiled over and really messed up my stove. And if you know anything about water that's boiling over on a black stove top like that, it's just horrible to get clean. So I don't know that I want to put eggs in this again to continue this test. So what I'm going to show you on the box, it did have all the eggs kind of jammed up together in the pot. Now I'll try to get the box to show you that. I didn't throw it out yet. So I would imagine if I can toss the water out, set up all the little Eggies, see how many can fit in this pot, and then we'll see, if they'll start flipping. So give me a moment to set up the Eggies. So here's the box, and this is what they look like. The 6 of them are sitting really in a tight space in the pan. And I'm thinking they have to stand up somewhere, they're gonna flip over, right? So look at my pan. I don't have a bigger pan than that in which I can fit all 6 snugly. They're bigger, the pans are bigger, and then they're not snug. So these 4 are pretty, well, they're not really even snug. See, that can move. Maybe, see, I can't put a 5th one, it won't fit. So what I'm gonna do is fill these Eggies with some water. Just as a test to see after I add water to the pot, will they flip over, okay? So let me get that done. So let's do this test first. And the reason I'm testing it with water on the inside is because I don't want to waste my eggs. So let me pour some water in the saucepan. And I'm going to put the fire on. I'm definitely going to need a little bit more water than that. If they sit there and they don't flip over, I might just bite the bullet and test some with the eggs, okay? So let me get some more water. And nowhere in the instructions does it say that you're gonna have to sit them all tight in a pan. Okay, there we go. See? That guy right there already flipped over. I mean, how am I gonna prevent the egg whites from leaking out? And the lids are screwed on tight. The threading is somewhat of a trouble to screw on the lids, but they're tight. And that one already flipped over. So let's get the water to a boil. Let's bring the water to a boil, and we're going to see if any of the other ones flipped over. And so I'm truly not going to put eggs inside of these again to waste my eggs, okay? We're just going to be testing it with water. And I think this is a fair test because the water might be even a little bit more dense than the eggs themselves inside of the Eggies, right? So I'll be back when this water's to a boil. So they're just about starting to boil. And remember, I couldn't fit a 5th one in there, so basically the other 3 hasn't flipped yet, but that one flipped since the beginning, right? Since I put the water in. I'm gonna try and test it, see if I could put it back in without it flipping. Not touch that part because it's hot. Okay, so here we are. Let's put that guy back in. Let's see if they'll stand up. Well, the water's moving them around because the water's boiling, but none of the others are flipping. I'm going to watch it for, they say you're supposed to boil it for like 15 minutes for hard-boiled eggs. So I guess the best test right now would be to time it for 15 minutes to see if any of them flip over during the process. Oh, there we go. I didn't even have to wait 15 minutes. They flipped over, and I'm telling you, once they flip over, the whites of the egg will start leaking out. And once it mixes with that water that's boiling, it'll boil over on your stove and cause just a big mess. I think, honestly, with this one, I prefer to keep boiling the eggs the regular way and fighting with the shells. And sometimes I found that if you shock the eggs right away with the ice or the cold water, you fare off better. But a lot of eggs, and will still have trouble, with peeling them. So we're back to square one with this one. This one is a colossal fail. This costed me like $10 at Walmart. I don't work for this company. This is just me in my little kitchen on Bear Pantry Talk right here. This is the channel in which I try to review things that I'm going to use in the kitchen as seen on TV stuff, or any other things that I can use in the kitchen. I'm going to try to review. And at first this channel started off differently, but this is what I'm going to do here now, is just review things in the kitchen. And you guys know I have my other channel, the Bear Pantry Show, where I do the actual cooking. And I have another channel that's called Bab's Bear Talk, in which I review things that I use on my body, like my hair, my face, and so on. And I put random videos there with things that's going on in my life. And so basically, this is where we are. No on the Eggies.